Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. I've got an epic lineup of virtual reality news stories that I want to share with you today. I've got more news on the Oculus Quest. I've got a new headset design that's probably the most genius looking headset that I have seen, and I can't wait to share this one with you. I've also got version 19 update for the Oculus Quest, and I've got updates for games as well. So let's get started. So let's start this off with Tetris Effect. It's going to get an expansion that's going to have multiplayer game modes, and some of them are pretty interesting. First of all, it is coming as a flat screen expansion to the Xbox and PC platform, but then after that, in 2021, it should be coming to all of the major virtual reality platforms as well. But it's a pretty great update. Let's go over it. There are two game modes in this expansion, like Zone Battle. You'll battle players in one-on-one matches with the zone mechanic that's enabled from the Tetris Effect default game. There's also a connected mode where you can have up to 3 players where your playfields actually connect together as one and you play on one big board as a team. These modes really kick it up a notch and sound pretty interesting. I really think there's enough content here for us to dive back into Tetris Effect in a year's time. And if you haven't got it yet, because it was kind of expensive, perhaps then that's the time to do it. I can't wait to try the 3-player mode. That sounds awesome. Siri, set calendar reminder. I now want to show you a really great headset design, a really interesting design that's really intuitive and really quite genius from Lynx with the Lynx R1 headset, the young French company that is bringing us mixed reality capabilities for such a great price. So in their tiny headset, they've got eye tracking, pass-through, AR, 90-degree field of view, 1600 by 1600 LCD displays per eye, an XR2 chip, and hand tracking capabilities with a ton more extras, all for the price of $1,500, which to me, what they're providing for business needs is incredibly competitive. So we spoke about this headset a while back, but there's been a compact redesign and it just blows my socks off. The lenses they're using are light folding, which allows them to have the lenses very, very close to the displays, but also hide the eye tracking camera, which is placed in the center of the lens. The new design of the headset is smaller and supposed to improve the field of view for the user. This has been achieved by making the camera smaller and moving some hardware to the back of the headset. Now look at the size difference between this headset and the Quest because of this redesign. I think this is a good redesign. It also balances the weight on the head as you've got some weight on the back. It keeps the device smaller and lighter on the face so your face isn't getting destroyed. Could this be something we adopt for our consumer headsets? Because it would allow us to have more processing power if we place it in the back of the headset and a lighter one on our face. I really think this is a sweet design. This is going to be shipping in September, so not long to wait if you pre-ordered one, and if you did pre-order one, you must be pretty happy right now with this redesign. So let's talk about Oculus Quest 2 now. We've had so many more leaked images since the last time we spoke about this, and there's a lot more to discuss, a lot more things that we have noticed, and I want to share them. So, I know it's been popping up everywhere, and I covered the original leak, but we now have even more popping up, which are no longer renders. We've also got different angles of the headset and a potential release date or a reveal date for the new Oculus Quest. Walking Cat shared with us a correct HP Reverb G2 leak, and now a potential Oculus Quest 1.5, Quest Lite, or a Quest 2 headset. So one of the new images is a shot looking into the headset and you get a shot of the lenses. Some keen-eyed people would notice something about this image, and that is that the lenses are much wider than the Quest that we have right now. So the Quest, the Go, and the Rift S have something called the Libra G lenses, and these look very different to that. And that may explain the lack of IP adjustment, because wider lenses would allow for a larger range of IPD to enjoy the headset without having to make adjustments. But this is speculation, I'm not 100% if the image is right. Also in this other image, we see a number 2 in the center of the headset where the sensor is supposed to be, which activates the headset by turning it on. Could this just mean Quest 2? Is that just a stamp? Or could it be a toggle switch to change the IPD? Which is possible, because if you look at the picture, there's actually a gap between the lenses and the nose part of the headset. So that kind of hints that there's some leeway, there's some slack. We can actually move the lenses closer or further apart. And if the speculation is true about having new lenses which kind of cover a range of IPD rather than having it to be specific, then we don't need to have that specific slider. We can choose whether it be a low IPD range or a high IPD range. There's also another image which shows us the audio output. We have a small slit on the side which is now horizontal and it's not vertical like the Quest's current slit. So perhaps you've got changes in the integrated audio as well. There's also a right side shot of the Quest which looks like an awful render I'm not sure if it's just me, but there's just something off about this picture. Anyway, we don't see an IPD adjustment on the right side like we've potentially thought. We do see a button and a light to know that it's on or standby or charging. But then, just as you think that we've got it all, even more leaks, ones that are not renders, actual pictures of the Quest come out as well. And this gives us even better insight into the materials and the construction of the headset. So the head strap here, you can see it's a fabric texture, which is supposed to be more elasticated, not like the hard rubber that we've got now. The hard plastic on the headset, which we already expected, they got rid of the fabric there, but it looks really clean. We also get a much better look at the remotes that actually, they look longer when I was comparing them to my remotes. They look longer, or the trigger is actually higher up, so the base of it just looks longer. And the design is actually very, very different, which was not as clear in the previous leaked pictures. There's what seems to have a resting area to the side of the buttons as well. So when you don't want to press any buttons, you're just playing kind of a shooting game and you just need a grip and a trigger, that might be better suited. It looks like it's a mix of the first generation and the second generation of touch controllers. Like it's got the button joystick area of the first gen, but the remote design of the second. They are supposed to have a higher infrared pulsing mode, which should improve the tracking as there's more data points that are accessible to the headset. I'm really intrigued by these design decisions though. I need more information, there are too many questions, and to top it all off, the tweet contained a date at the top of it saying September 15th. Could this be their reveal of the headset, giving us more information on it? Could it be the release date? I don't think it would be a release date. I'm sure, hopefully, I hope that they would give us more information on the headset and then give us a date that's perhaps a month or a couple weeks down the line, ready for the holiday season of the Quest 2 or the Quest Lite. I'm still not sure. I need to know! Please comment down below on this one. It's a hot topic, it's a great discussion point, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's have a quick note now on a cheeky little update that we completely missed, and there was an update to 10.2 for the Oculus browser, and it's enabled some even more capabilities. So this new update contains hand tracking support for WebXR applications. This is classed as an experimental feature, but still, it's there. So the 10.2 browser contains hand tracking APIs and the time warp layer support to help give us the impression of seamless 72 frames per second when we're streaming over the internet. This differs from the update in version 8 of the browser, which did have hand tracking support, but that emulated the controllers, so the trigger and the grip buttons. This new update is actually full 5-finger hand tracking. This all became apparent when Mr. Doob, what a name, on Twitter, which is Jacob Rossi, the product manager over at Oculus, showed us off this feature with some test WebXR pages of some planetary system, but it looked great. And speaking of updates, let's talk about the release notes of the version 19 Oculus Quest update. What's in it? What does it contain? What new features do we have? Let's go over them. Facebook have made it easy for you to find your friends and connect with them in virtual reality. Your Facebook friends, that is. So if you're logged in to Facebook on your Oculus headset, you have the option to choose whether people can find you by your Facebook name. And the options that we have seen before for Facebook are anyone, friends, or only me. Your Facebook name privacy setting will default to the option you previously chose for your Oculus real name, but you can adjust this setting at any time. For new users, the setting is defaulted to friends only. There's invite your friends updates as well. You can now invite your friends to join you in virtual reality, even if they're not currently using their VR headset. So to invite your friends, launch a game, pause it, and select invite. You have to select invite again if you want to change the invitation or send it to more people. Once you leave the app, the invitation will expire. Some updates here that you may be aware of, because we did already discuss this, is public parties. A public party is a VoIP, that's voice over IP call, that can be discovered by people outside your Oculus friend list. This allows you to meet new people, make friends, perhaps you have a co-op game and no one to play with. This is a great option, so I know I've been in that position myself. Parties can now also support up to 8 people, not 4, 8. Of course, this depends on what game you're playing, because some titles will not support up to 8 players at once, but you can have 8 people in a party, at least if you want to chat. The Travel Together update. Travel Together allows people in a party to travel to an application and arrive at the same location within the app together. Apps that support Travel Together will show up under the Play with Others section of your home feed, because as I said in a previous video, this has to be enabled by developers. This isn't just working out of the box. If developers enable this feature, you can then make use of it. As we just said, the party size has now changed. Some applications will support 8 people at a time in a party. That is crazy. I don't think I know 8 people to invite. There are some reporting improvements, improved clarity of messaging, they've made it easier to attach videos to the reports, they've added the functionality to review the media before moving forward with the report. They've also added the ability to block the person you're reporting directly from the reporting flow. So that's now one step instead of having to make the report and then hunt them down and then block them if that's what you want to do. I'm not sure how bad the abuse online was. You now have access to your block list as well, so if you go to settings, device and privacy, you can see all the people you blocked and don't like to make sure that you avoid them. The controllers have had an update, so when you're now interacting with your touch controllers in the Oculus Quest, you should have a visual representation of your hands interacting with the remotes as well. You can also take a photo with your controller. You can now take a photo in virtual reality by holding the Oculus button down and pressing the trigger button, and this should take a snapshot. You may have seen this before, and this may already be apparent to you because it was one of those secret features that popped up before we actually got these release notes. There's a keyboard update, so congratulations if you're Japanese, there's now a Japanese keyboard, and there's also an in-application keyboard update where in-game they don't have to create their own custom keyboard. The SDK has been updated so they can actually use the Oculus implementation in their game if they require any typing, which is going to be handy for developers. There's also a ton of bug fixes, but that's what's in the version 19 update. So that's it from me today, guys. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, getting caught up on the latest and greatest in the virtual reality space. Please subscribe to the channel, bring me one step closer to the dream. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.